Hello, welcome to my studio. I am so glad that you stopped by, and today I'm going to be sharing a video of my December Christmas journal, a flip through with you. But I wanted to stop in first and just say hello and introduce myself. My name is Amy, and I am Flashy May Cottage and Flashy May Designs, and I'm so glad that you're here. I have not posted in quite a while, a really long time, but I do want to do more on my YouTube channel. So if there's anything you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments below and I'll see what I can come up with. I do want to share more of my studio space and the things that I've collected and the things that I'm creating, and hopefully do some more videos on a more regular basis. So for now, I want to start off the year by showing my Christmas journal to you. So I will see you over there in a bit. Bye. Hello and welcome to my journal flip through of my Christmas journal. I wanted to share this with you. I actually got it completed this year faster than I normally do. It usually takes me quite a while after December to get it done, but I'm so pleased with myself. I got it done and I want to share it with you. So for this year, I didn't make myself a journal like I normally do. I usually kind of last minute make myself a journal and just throw a bunch of things together and use that for December, kind of like a December daily. But this year I did not get the chance to do it. So I ended up using a journal that was gifted to me in a swap, I believe, several years ago from Cassie on Instagram. She's Dust to Roses. So I found that on my shelf and I had not used it yet. So I thought that was perfect. And it's mostly blues. And I typically don't do a lot of things in just all blues, even though I like blue. So when I was looking at the journal, I thought, I just happened to come across this big quilt piece and just instantly had the idea, I'm going to wrap this journal and make it look a little bit more like me. And it ended up being so perfect. I don't know if you can see all of it, but it's so thick and chunky. And the wrap it's just perfect. It holds the journal together nicely because I filled it so thick that it wouldn't stay together very well without the wrap. So on the wrap, I took just an aged, discolored piece of quilt and I stitched a collage on it. So I just used some tape measure. This is an old envelope and the letter's actually inside the journal. So I just stitched the crunchy little envelope to the quilt, added some lace down here, some ticking, some old fabrics, and then this was a piece, I don't know where that came from, but I stitched along the edges. And I haven't figured out exactly, I thought about putting a button here. A friend mentioned that to me, and maybe I could wrap it around. I don't know exactly yet, but it holds it together pretty well. And so that's the wrap. And I did add, from when I originally made the wrap, I did add some extra pieces to it. So the tape measure had the little metal clasp on it, and that's what I used. So after I first showed the wrap, I did come back in and add these pieces from here on out. So this was my original wrap design here, and then I added a few extra pieces. So the wrap piece is quite long, and you can see, I mean, I could have collaged in here and I still could go back, but I kind of just like seeing the original, all the staining and the aging and the discoloration. So these fabrics I added here and added some hand stitching. So it just keeps on and on and on and on. And so this is the original journal that I got from Cassie. So so here's the wrap. You can see the wrap laid out. It just kind of looks like this. So it just personalized the journal a little bit for me. So we'll move that out of the way. So this is the journal from Cassie, and it's a lot of blues and some pretty sequined trims. So I think this was in the journal. I added some paper and then the 2023 to customize it. Down here, some dots, and that's all I did to the actual journal. So you can see it's quite thick, like it will not stay together at all. So the wrap ended up being perfect, even though I didn't realize how much I would actually need it, but I'm so glad I made it. So I'm just gonna flip through and tell you a little bit about how I use my journal. And usually I number the days. So I'll do December 1, December 2, but this year I went easy on myself and actually just did it however I wanted. And I can't even guarantee that it's all in the correct sequential order but all the memories that I wanted to capture are in here, and that's what matters most. So here we go. So these pieces were in here, and this was a note from Cassie saying Merry Christmas, and I didn't do anything to this. This is exactly how the inside came. And I do use my December journals for pictures, so this does have a lot of pictures in it. So you will see a lot of my family photos, but that's just the way it is. So on the first page, this is where I wrote Hello December, and just basically talked about how quickly you've come and what I want December to what I want to capture in December for us. And right here I put a gold A. It's just a sticker I found in years of scrapbooking supplies because all of our names start with A. So this is us at the tree farm, and a little collage here. There we are again at the tree farm, and then I just wrote about that, getting our Christmas tree. This is some napkin, some wrapping paper, little bits of fabric, just little bits. So in my Christmas journals, I do tend to repeat. So I keep it very simple. I take the same items. They're just the ones that speak to me because they are Christmassy. So the little stripe, the little bit of metallic, the polka dots, those are the things that I love. And I just drew a box around my journaling here on this ledger page, and that was good enough for me. It doesn't have to be fancy or complicated. And by repeating those same elements, the whole thing ties together, and I just love the way it comes out. So this is the tree after it was in our house, and I just wrote, and so it begins. So a little sticker here, some washi tape, some more tissue paper, little bits of washi tape here, and just some little bits that I found. And that's just all that is for that page. This was a little picture that I took in our hallway in our house, and I had just added a little bit of Christmas touch. So up here, simple little touches around the house are all it takes to make a little magic. I didn't do a whole lot here. I just covered up the page that was in the journal with something a little more Christmassy, and the same here, a little bit of music paper and the dots. So you'll see the dots repeat quite often. And this is my daughter and her friend, and this is the letter that actually went in the envelope that you saw on the front. So that is quite a simple page. This is my booth that I have, just a tiny little booth. It's only 5.5 by 6, I think. Really small, but it's just something I do for fun. And I added this. This was a little note from a customer, and it was the kindest note. We had gone back and forth and had just a lovely discussion, and she wrote me this really nice note, and these are the trees outside of our house. So I just used more of the dots. There's the wrapping paper and a little bit of fabric right here. So super simple. And then this was a postcard I found at an antique place. There's the back of that fabric. I wrote, "There's beauty everywhere." This was in the journal, and I just added a little bit of tape, and I scratched out this gold washi just a tiny bit. It was a little bright. A little bit of washi there and more of the napkin. So this is us. When is this? Oh, we're going to go grocery shopping at Costco. Super simple, nothing fancy, but it's something we do a couple times a month. So I had to split the picture in half. So my son is over here, but he was in the van with us. So Andy was driving, and it's just such a basic memory, but it's such a memory that we all enjoy so much. We go to Costco and Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, and we just get little snacks at each place along the way. So we make it a fun adventure, and it's something I treasure with my kids. And I don't know if they will, but they do say that when they're grown and gone, they're going to come back and go on shopping trips with me. So I hope so. So I added this fabric here, more of the dot tissue paper. This was a different wrapping paper. This was a cream fabric, and I added the floral, and all of this was over here already, I think, except for this. So there's just not much on here. It just says on our way to Easton to do a little shopping at our 3 usual places. So fun. Basic, but precious to me. And then this is just me sitting on the couch, and that was my view, and I posted that in my stories, little bits of Mary. So I use that for my journal. Did a little journaling here. There's the other side of that fabric, more dots and some light floral fabric. So, and some more of the screen paper. Nothing complicated. Carried the dots over here. I just love that I can use very few elements, and it turns out perfect perfect for me, I guess. This was in the journal already, and I just added a fabric collage down here with some washi tape, wrote on here, and this was a Christmas card from a friend, and that was special. So I wanted to keep that in my journal. This day we went to take our family photo, and again, you can see the dots, different dots, some writing down here with the washi tape. I do want to put something here, but I haven't found it yet, so it's just going to stay like that for a while. So I covered up the page with some fabric. This was I don't know where that came from. I just cut it out and stuck it on there. But two of my kids here on a covered bridge we were just kind of messing around while we were waiting for my third child, the camera guy, to get it all together. And moving on, this was a visit to the countryside to a friend's house. Added some fabric. There are several photos here, and I just clipped them in because I just loved the house. It was so beautiful. And I wrote about that, added some paper here, little bits up and down, and some more of that green paper, and a little bit of ticket right here. This was already in the journal. I stuffed some extra photographs behind this, and Cassie already had all of these pieces in here, and I just left them in here. Did some journaling over here, 2023 favorites. Left these 3 blank for some fabric. Super simple. This was a Zoo Lights trip. We went to see the Zoo Lights several times, so this was my kids and some of their friends. And this is a postcard that I just washi taped in there. This was already on the journal. So some of these are super plain. Some of them are just journaling. It's just a mixture. This was at our home group at our house. We were the whippoorwills and the snails. We had a charades game going, and that was the scorecard. And this was a postcard from Kim, Dodges and Daisies. So I wanted to add that in there. So I did some journaling here with a little bit of washi tape. This is the middle. Wrote about December, added some more of the dots and that fabric. And then this was in Easton from our trip, and I just wanted to capture the beauty of the horse-drawn carriage. And this is Norman Dorman. He is precious, and this didn't need much either. This was all in here. I added the washi tape here to tape this down, wrote his name, and added a little bit of dot tissue paper, and it's all good. So this page here, I took a little picture of my studio here. So this is my studio. This was a gift that I wrapped up for a friend. A little Christmas wrapping today, a special gift for a very special friend. On this side, I wrote, thankful for my little attic studio and the ability to create and share things with others all around the world, making pretty. A little bit of old snap card fabric and some tissue paper. And up here I just wrote little things, if you can see that. And this was just our family room. Some of those same papers just got carried on. This was part of a Christmas card that I cut out. And right here, this blue floral is a piece of fabric. And then down the center, I just had this little ripped edge of pink stripe that I threw in there. This was in the journal, and then I added the card. This was a family gathering. Wrote about it here, and there's not much on that. Okay, now I just noticed I have my booth in here twice. So, I'm not really sure how that happened. Well, that just goes to show you I really like my booth, or I messed up. Either way, who cares? So this is some wrapping paper and the tag on the wrapping paper. And I just wrote, I like to save bits and pieces from gifts we receive. And this says my little booth. So now I'm really curious why that happened. Maybe it was different days that I went to my booth, who knows? Or maybe I just needed a filler, because sometimes I think I'm gonna have all these pictures and take a picture every single day in December. And then I just don't, and it's okay. This is my husband and I on Christmas Eve after church, and this was my husband and me, sorry, on Christmas Eve after church. And I added some washi tape here. This is like a fuzzy little fabric. I think it was a pocket, maybe, and I just closed it and added the tissue paper. I want to put something up here, but I don't really know what that's going to be yet. And this is an old piece of tape measure that's really fragile, and so I just glued it in. And up here I just wrote us. And then this is from one of our zoo trips, and we found this little fellow, the polar bear. He was having such a grand time rolling all around, so I thought he deserved a place in my journal. I didn't do anything to this side over here. This is part of a napkin from someplace that we were, and the gold bits that were already in the journal, the wrapping paper, and washi. 'Tis the season for love and laughter, lots of giving, from a smile to a kind word or two. A bit of fabric here, and a little Mary here. I just love the colors and the simplicity of it. And this is from one of our zoo trips. We went several times this year. And so it's just super simple. It started like this, ended like this. It was a funny memory. Yeah, the people around us were kind of laughing as well. So I thought it was noteworthy to remember. And here's that same tape measure with a little metal bit on the end and the polka dots and a little bit of old lace. This was the original paper peeking out from behind there. So great way to use what's already in there, but not have it dominate. So I just folded that back and I can still see it. And so the blues play off of the Santa over here and of Abigail's shirt. This was caroling, and I really didn't do much to this page at all except add some, this is an old book page, and I just journaled there. This was a page in the journal that I really didn't need it, and it didn't really mesh with what I was doing. So I literally just ripped it off, and I liked the little torn piece, so I kept that. This might be one of my favorite spreads, and it's just because it is super simple. And here's Oliver, and it just says Oliver cozy by the tree. And over here it says a little twinkle. There's that wrapping paper. This is actually wrapping paper from last year. And I hang on to those things, and I just kind of have a big pile because I like my Christmas journals to be natural, but a little bit crunchy and messy at the same time. So I love the crinkly sounds of the papers and things like that. So a little bit of washi up here. This was a little, I guess, a hanky, and it has the A on it. And so I just tore it and shaped it like this, stitched it a little messily, and added this little library pocket. It says no place like home for the holidays. I need to put something here, but I didn't have anything yet, so I don't know if I will or not. Sometimes I go back way later and just add something. And this was our family photo from the year. And I just used, just like that gold A, I used the 5. My favorite gift of all is this family of mine. I love this family of mine. This was Christmas Eve. We went hiking at Christmas Rocks, and I need to put a little note there, but I just haven't found quite the piece that I want to use for that. So here's some fabric stitched over here, and these bits were already in the journal. The Christmas tree charm was already on there, so I left it. And that's just paper clipped in because I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do that. And then, yep, that's it. We're at the end. So this was Christmas Eve, and this was my stories photo, me and my girl saying Happy Christmas Eve. And I just took this fabric, the one that wrapped around to the other side. And then I used the pocket over here. Well, I took one of these little vocabulary cards, and it says The End, Handmade with Love by Cassie. This was the 25 that was already there. And this was in here as well. So I just tucked it in the back pocket with some extra photos. And that's the journal. So that with the wrap completes my Christmas journal. So I'm so glad you stopped by today. I'm so glad you shared this with me and that I could share this with you. And I hope to do more videos soon. I really need to get on top of that and do some studio tours and some more videos. So hopefully you will see me soon, and I will see you as well. Bye for now.